Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Dear Love Podcast. You can catch us at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Listen Notes, Google Music, Podbean, all that good stuff. You already know how this go. Let's get right into it. We don't listen. Like, honestly, we don't listen. You ever wish that you could have a do back, rewind time, redo something? Well, that's how I feel, but not just for like a certain situation. I just feel like I can redo everything sometimes. But I'm selfish because I want to redo stuff and keep the same results at the same time. It's like I wish I could redo school, but I'm happy I graduated, but I wish I could redo it. Not even for better grades. I will want to redo it because I don't think I cherished the time enough. It's so serious when they say time is all you have, man, and your time is valuable because if I could have redid school, oh my goodness. Like I see what I rode past my high school today and I ride past a lot and I just look and I find myself saying the same stuff to people. Man, y'all see the high school? Y'all see how they got it now? It looks like a college campus, literally. Like, it's amazing how the years have passed and how they had a school looking. And it also made me think about how I didn't go to college. Not saying it's too late now, but just the fact that I didn't go. So I missed that experience. I missed that part of my life around the time where it was like cool to go. The time where you usually would go to college. So again, I wouldn't just want to redo the college scene, which I never experienced. I would want to just redo school as a whole. Maybe take me back to elementary school. Maybe cherish stuff a little bit more. And of course, it sounds crazy because of course you would want to redo it after you did it already, and you see how some things turned out, and things turned out well. But again, I just think it could have been a million times better. I think I could have put more effort in. Dear Love, episode 71. Think back to that time. Think back if you could rewind just a little bit. That's why we find ourselves trying to live through our family members or our kids when they go to school because we miss it on the low. We were so thirsty and so quick to try to graduate and get out of school. And then we have our days where we be like, you know what, I miss going back. Because school is just, if we would have knew, put it this way, if we would have knew school would be like a job, like you got to get up for work every day. But some of us used to be late to school, so we don't have that discipline to really do our job as well. And that's why I say some people should redo it also. Now, me, I always went to school. I might have skipped twice ever. I wasn't into that type of stuff. I went to school, did what I had to do. I just feel like I did homework a lot easier at school. Like homework wasn't really homework for me. And I always worked under pressure with it. But the discipline part for kids, because I see a lot of people now, even at the place where I work, a lot of people just so used to being late. They so used to not being on time. They not used to responsibilities. And I feel like school teaches that. And I feel like school teaches that a lot better nowadays. Now that you have the laptops and stuff, it's like we're not going to hold your hand with this stuff. This is the assignment. It's due by next Monday. It's 15 pages. We're not going to ask you every day, oh, did you do your work? How is it coming along? We leaving you the responsibility of making sure you're doing your work. And I feel like, again, that's a way to show kids now how it's going to be when you get older. Because I find myself talking to a lot of my workers the same way a teacher would talk to their students. And some of these people have kids already. You know how they say kids having kids, so you already have a kid. You should understand how important this is. You should understand that it's not a game. So redoing school sometimes is a must to me because it kind of gets you ready for the future and for things that you have to do. Because nowadays we depend on like the TV and stuff to raise the children, or we will depend on the school to raise them, but we forget how important our part is. You making sure that kid get up on time, they clean, they have manners. See, the manners are taught at home. You don't learn manners at school. I mean, you can upgrade what you're learning at home and things like that, but it starts at home. If I'm sending my kid to school looking like anything and letting them be late, what example is that setting, and what are the teachers gonna think? I remember when I was in elementary school, it was these buildings that was kind of attached to the school. They were like literally right next to him. And this kid was late every day. And you know what people start to ask? Well, where are your parents? Is there problems in the household? They ask that for a reason, because if you can't get to school on time and it's literally right next door, then it has to be an issue somewhere. Or what about the kids that stay at home by themselves? After a certain age, we expect them to be adults and be able to handle it. But how the world is set up now, that's not even working for us. I mean, because these kids are ran by the internet, whatever's going, and then, it's so much easier to be hacked nowadays because everything is through internet. Everything is through Wi-Fi, through bandwidth. Like, it's easy. So your kids are more prone to seeing things they shouldn't see. Even if you try to monitor it, it's hard to monitor everything that's going on. But that's why it's so important that we stay in front of those kids' faces at all times as far as learning. So I wish I could rewind these things. I would have learned better lessons for myself and to teach my kid and to teach others, period. It's nothing wrong with learning more as an adult or teaching people stuff as an adult also. But discipline definitely starts at home, and it starts with school. You think about it, you born and your first real job, I should say, like, that's important to society or you get in trouble, is school. As a kid, that is your job, to go to school. When you're an adult, it's your job to go to work and provide. So when these guys don't take work serious, what does it say about the household? And these are adults that we're talking about. What does it say about the household? What does it say about what's going on or what they're accustomed to? Some people just can't do it. They can't get to work on time. They can't get up on time. They feel like getting up late is early. It's a different world now. It's a different world. And you got to kind of go back to the old school. They like to call people old heads and all of that, but those are people who paved the way to how it should be. Because the way that it's going now, terrible. We still on cell phones. And now they encourage, in a sense, cell phones in school. They got the stuff where you watch the kids. I just don't understand. Cell phones used to be a privilege, and now cell phones is a must for everyday life with kids. You can't pry them away from the phone. We need to rewind time, redo some things, and just stand firm. You remember when we were in school, that phone stuff wasn't going. Like, you had to sneak and text and then put your phone back up. These kids could, I don't know. Again, it's just totally different. And we're not even getting into college. I never went to college, but I can tell you some people that I know that went to college, and you can tell it just didn't work out for them. Like, honestly, you got to really think about it. When you go to college, it's sort of an extension of high school. The things you've learned, the things you want to try to do. So again, if we rewinding all the way back, if you didn't get the discipline from your parents and you go to school and do what you want to. But you know, you still ended up graduating. But now you're going to college as an adult where mommy and daddy or whoever is not there. And now you got to try to act like you was taught some stuff. So then you go there and act the fool. Then when they say stuff like, again, and that's that place, college, they definitely not going to hold your hand. See, high school was like mini college. It's kind of getting you ready for adulthood. They definitely not going to, and for the most part, you paying for college. So they really don't care. If you do the work, it's because, I mean, you want to do it and you want to succeed. If not, it doesn't matter. You're paying, so it's up to you to do the work to stay here. It's up to you to learn. And think about it, the time for you as an individual gets smaller and smaller in schools. Because your elementary school is more hands-on. Middle school is still kind of hands-on. A lot of classrooms smaller. When you get to high school, it ain't so much hands-on as far as like you having your own time and they just talking to you. So college now is like one professor and maybe 20 to 25 students or however many students are in the class. You can't get a whole lot of one-on-one right then because remember, everybody's paying in a sense. So it's like I have to teach the class and you have to keep up. That's on you to keep up with these things. So just think of that, rewinding time and you thinking of things that you could do better in your life to better somebody else's life or better your kid's life. Because again, if you weren't raised right, I should say, I really don't feel like it's a wrong way to be raised. It's just like different paths to be raising, or I'm not raising, but different paths to raise kids. And a lot of them do the straight and narrow, but I'm not going to say, you know, it's a wrong way to be raised. Because thank God you were raised because how the world is set up. So that's something to think about. If you could rewind time, how would you do it? What would you change, if any? Like I said, we want the results. We just don't want to do nothing, you know. But we still want the results. But if I could do it over, yeah, I definitely would change some things. I definitely would go harder in school. I had the discipline. It was on me. I just didn't want to do it. So again, it's not always on the parents, but parents play a big part. My parents are on me, so I feel like we kind of lackadays nowadays with the kids, especially with just habits. So we got to get a little bit better. Dear Love T. Shaw, I'm out of here.